some things are produced there. I guess if they're closer to the point of production, they're going to be cheaper. Yeah. Yeah. So it's produced in Detroit or somewhere, and you live not far from Detroit. Yeah, it's going to be cheaper. Okay, so have that done for Monday. We won't do that till Monday. Not now.
We just warm up.
Yeah. Just warmed up and I'll leave you cold.
Can I have a comment?
It's the cool.
When we are going to read it, for example now, if we do it, read it, we have more memorized it.
Yeah.
We more memorize it. If we put it for Monday.
No. Okay. Have it ready for Monday, so do it tonight. Actually, we finish at 4 o'clock, Marley, so at 4, okay, it takes 7 minutes to get a coffee, so at 4:07, right, sit down in the library and do it then.
In the library, we have to do other things. We have to look for a snack, for person.
Yeah, okay, however, the short answer is I'm managing class time and we've got certain things we've got to get ready for tomorrow. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I've got a really boring meeting all day. I'd much rather be with you guys.
You don't have to come tomorrow.
No. let me. Okay, we're going to have academic work list tests as usual. Then there'll be a practice reading ISLPR test. Practice. So it's quite important you come along so you practice. You know, so you realise what that format is like. There'll be a relief teacher. I haven't met her before. And then there'll be morning break, and then there's going to be a almost 2 hours writing time. It's going to be writing about what we're going to do right now. That's why we need to change and not look at grammar now. Because we're going to write, you are going to write something, I'm not going to tell you what until tomorrow, because I don't want you to practice it tonight.
Is that
Alright? We're going to do it about the stuff we've been discussing and stuff we're going to discuss right now, culture shock. Alright, it'll be a personal reflection, so it's not going to be hard, academic argument or something you're going to write. It's just another practice in assessment conditions, for the ISLPR writing. Yeah.
I just need a very quick way.
Yeah, sure.
Leave him alone.
Leave him with us, not alone. He's not alone.
I asked her to leave him alone. We need him.
Leave him for us. Leave him with us. Not alone.
Because she thinks we look quite serious.
She's always.
She's always. She's the motivator.
That's
That's why she's so skinny.
Yeah, sure.
Leave him. He doesn't get injured.
I won't be here, I'll just be sacked, so there you go.
We already told her.
He's going to do us
alone, okay?
Please, don't.
Okay.
So we'll have a writing around this topic, so it'll be a personal, kind of easy thing to write. But I want to prepare you partly for that tomorrow and get some ideas circulating, okay?
And also,
So that's why we're not going on to the grammar
can
now.
we open book?
Yeah. Now,
are we doing a reading part?
you'll be doing, I'll write it up.
It's just for tomorrow, isn't it?
It's just tomorrow. Monday I'm back. So you have your academic word list 3, aren't we?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. Then reading practice assessment.
Tomorrow.
Just straight away. So like
9 o'clock.
Well, that'll be 9 a.m. This will be about 9:30 because you get 15 minutes for that, yeah. And then I've asked the teacher to review it quite quickly. So by 9:30 you're going to be doing that. 9. That will go to 10:45. You'll get 15 minutes to just read this piece, right? With no questions or anything. These are the conditions that you'll have next term. Then you get 1 hour to answer the questions. Okay? So 10:45 to 11:05, break. So 11:05 to 1 p.m, almost 2 hours, writing.
How many books?
300 words, usual amount. Right, now remember the strategy. You try to write 300, double spaced, quite quickly. Spend 5 to 10 minutes doing a concept map first. You know, get it, when you get given paper, make sure you ask for an extra bit for a concept map. You'll see the question, get your ideas down, spend 5 or 10 minutes doing that, be really clear about what you want to say. Then say it in an hour and spend 1 hour editing. Now in terms of editing, go through it again.
Will there be dictionaries available?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
there will. Now in terms of what you can bring
That
any notes, you can bring your different article grammar notes. Right? This will be the same for your writing assessment next term as well. So any notes, grammar notes, etc. that can help you. Electronic, not permitted. Hard copy,
You mean in our final assessment,
Yeah.
diploma, we can bring notes?
you can use those notes, sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay,
But
that
we
thing.
don't know
Look,
any-
I would encourage you, that thing I gave you the other day. Okay? So now, when you do your concept map, you can look at your concept map, hopefully. You have all your ideas there, and then you group them and say, okay, I'm going to talk about that thing first, then that thing, then that thing. And just think to yourself, spend another couple of minutes. Well, I'm going to be comparing my culture to another culture. I'm going to be talking about cause, because how it caused a problem for me. I'm going to talk about solutions, right? So look up comparison, problems, solutions, causes. Yep, have a quick read, get it in your mind, like I suggested. Then you write 1 hour. Probably you have a bit less than an hour to edit, but given that time's not quite 2 hours. So editing, you can use these resources to check things, and so 1 hour, write quite continuously, write quickly. If you think, oh, grammatically that's not quite correct, just put a line underneath it. Mark the bits that you're not sure of. So you know, by the time you've finished your piece, you'll have some bits that are kind of underlined, won't you? Alright, those are the bits you come back to, editing for an hour. Now, you can use this, you can use dictionaries. After the break, I'm going to introduce you to a thing called the Activator, which is a good vocabulary developing resource. So use those things. Now the other thing in terms of editing, you've only had one piece of writing feedback, but have a look. What were your top things? Are they spelling, tense, preposition? Get your top 3 things and edit for those things. If you've got 4 or 5, you're probably not going to have time to edit for all of them. If you have, good, you might have verb form and punctuation. But at least, probably 10 minutes each, plus consulting these things and so on, you'll soon chew up an hour in editing. This is why you need a lot of editing time. Write and then try to pull the whole thing up by focusing on these and correcting them. And remember, write on alternate lines so that you've got plenty of room to
And third
correct.
person or first person?
It'll be first person because it'll be a personal reflection. So for this piece, you can use I. You're going to have to because it's going to be a reflection about your experience. It's an easier piece. These practices are kind of easier.
Yeah. So this piece is it only going to be in a mark for the reading or also a mark for the writing?
They're quite separate. That's for reading. That's going to be for writing.
Oh, okay. So they're quite separate.
So practice of 2 forms of assessment.
The reading is similar, like today you practice this one. The put
Reading?
verb, the reading practice assessment, is it similar like
No,
today?
not at all. This is grammar, what we
Okay.
did today. You will get an article
Okay.
and then you get a number of questions. So you have 15 minutes to read the article, you can mark the article as much as you like, you can't use dictionaries for
We
that.
haven't done it this time yet.
We haven't done it yet.
Oh.
Don't you
Tomorrow
think
is
it is a little bit too much working tomorrow and you are not with us at the same time? So you are absent and give
Yeah.
us two tasks at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
One task is enough.
Well, no, look, it's not that hard. I mean, I'm doing this because I kind of need to be here to give you new instructions about other things. These are the sort of things you can do on your own.
Because reading
Yeah.
has a unique strategy. The teacher will go.
The teacher won't take you through the strategies. It's just a practice so that you get to know the form. We will do other readings and we'll talk about strategies another day when I'm here. But at least it gives you a practice in the sense of what you're going to practice is this with the reading. Having 15 minutes with nothing, no clues, no questions. You can mark the piece as much as you like. You should try guessing new words and figuring out what's going on. No dictionaries. Then you'll get your questions. Then you've got time to write short answers. So you'll learn just stuff from that. You don't necessarily have to have teachers taking you through every strategy.
But John, it's a different strategy because instead of teacher first were giving us the questions, read the question, and then give us the paper.
Yeah,
Read it
it's
as-
different. That's right. Because one's called certificate 4, one's called
There's a
diploma.
deep rule.
I
And
mean, it was hard in that level.
look, if that's the way they assess that level, that's the way they assess that level.
Ah,
At this level, at a more independent level, you should be able to look at a piece without any guidelines at the beginning about what it means and work out, to a certain degree independently, what you think that means. Then you're going to get the questions.
This is
Alright.
practice, not real test.
This is not a real test. No.
Just for the
Practice.
and you have to download it to her.
We're still going to, you're still going to get your 3 real sessions later on. This is just more, it's just giving you more experience. That's the format.
Yeah, quick question. If you do really well on the practice, can you use that mark, or if you do extremely well and you make a mistake on the real one?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So if you
It
do-
just increases possibility, doesn't it, of getting through. So yeah,
It's
So
not
that's-
this
that's
term,
good.
next term.
look, if you did really well, why not? Use it.
Just to see how much you
Yeah.
skill.
So, yeah.
That's all. And then after that we can concentrate the witness.
All right, so that's what's happening tomorrow. Now,
So tomorrow there is no
I was looking
choose
forward to
this, choosing this. You every Friday you give us. Last Friday you give us.
No, this one instead.
It's
Instead
9 o'clock.
that's
start at 9
It's
o'clock.
9 o'clock.
academic word list 3.
Oh,
It'll all be happening.
three. This is
Yeah, but look, none of them are serious.
Not serious.
Right? You can sit there and laugh your way through all of it if you want. None of it is serious. It's just experience, and that's the word there. Practice.
Practice.
Alright?
And also, it's good to we know beforehand when we will receive for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, I'd rather it was several times like that. Let us to get used to it.
Those were just different area categories like verb form or punctuation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our editing, we have to
Yeah.
mention.
So you don't edit generally for your errors. It's better for you to edit for the errors you know that you do most. Yeah. The topic is going to be about the stuff we've been talking about culture shock. Alright? And let's do a little bit of this now.
It could be like a statement.
It'll be about personal reflections about your experience and culture shock and some of the stuff we've talked about, alright? I can't really say anything more than that. Part of the practice is getting a question.
We'll let you say it.
Reflective for your reflective culture
Yeah.
short.
Yeah.
How we can write that this is a statement, because it's
Okay, because you might say, okay, I had problems with Australian culture in, the relationships between men and women, and the new educational system, and how kind of unfriendly Australians were. There are your three main things. That's part of your thesis statement, isn't it? So I'm giving you clues already, like, what areas in Australia. Think of the guy we saw yesterday, yeah? Carl Pilkington, right? The guy in India. What did he have problems with? He had problems with total confusion, didn't he? Noisy, chaotic cities. He had problems with space in houses, toilets and sanitation, Yeah, and this ceremony he didn't understand. So there are four, if we said to Carl, write about your problems, he'd write about those four areas. So I'm kind of giving you clues already. It's like, what are your areas that you have had most difficulty with in adjusting to Australia? And there's a little bit of extra in the question other than that. But yeah, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about a bit today. So because we have looked at this graph, remember? That's been the thing that sort of framed our discussion. Okay, and that's the average sort of movement. May not be yours, but that's been the framework that we've been discussing. And we have looked at, what were your particular symptoms, how they emerged, what they were. We've talked about overcoming culture shock. And we've gone through that list, even that last one, look, remember I talked about cross-cultural theories? We've looked at the Hofstede, remember on Monday? Those 6 cultural dimensions of Hofstede. And you compare your native country to Australia, and there might be a few insights there. But just every little bit helps you process and make sense of what you're going through. If we flip over, here's another model that is kind of useful for the recovery process. So the argument here is it's got a lot to do with the attitudes. You can approach a new culture with 2 kind of overall views. One, openness, acceptance, and trust. So we're just on that very last page. The diagram. That one. Yeah, so we're looking at this diagram here. It's on the back of that. Sorry, I don't have any spares. So I'll just share with somebody who's doing that. So, initial attitudes, initial beginning. Yeah? Some people come in with openness, acceptance and trust, or you can have suspicion, fear, prejudice, sort of fixed ideas about another culture. Right, you confront cultural differences. Everybody feels, even if you're open and accepting, you still get frustration, confusion, tension, embarrassment. Think of Carl, in the middle of Delhi or wherever he was, trying to use the toilets, or confused about where to go or this big city. Okay, now, you've got a choice. Coping strategies. You can observe, listen, inquire. So you've got this problem or set of problems. Okay, watch things more carefully. Listen to people. Ask. Find out. That's one approach, isn't it? Or, look at the bottom, criticise, rationalise, which means make excuses. I won't go to the party, I'm too tired, I'll just go home. Because that party is, mainly native Aussies and I'm not sure about the rules. Withdraw. Yeah, I'll go home. So those 2 kinds of broad directions. Okay, if you do that observing, that listening, that inquiring, over time, it doesn't happen immediately, you you get a certain level of understanding. And rapport, that word, you don't pronounce the T, it's a French word. Rapport means a good feeling with another person, that you understand them and they understand you, kind of a closeness. Like with a good friend, you have rapport.
Relationship.
Yeah, yeah. A good relationship where you have good understanding with someone, that's rapport. So obviously that's the pathway to the kind of mastery, cultural mastery. Or the other, alienation, isolation, and because you withdraw, then you don't learn anything more or not much, and then because you don't understand, you're not getting mastery, so therefore you withdraw more, and you can get into that negative cycle fairly easily too.
Is it called rapport?
No, rapport. The T is silent. So quite a few words we got from French, because of the French invasion, 1066, and many of those words have, in French, they have silent endings, a lot of the consonants. So it's rapport.
Rapport.
Yeah.
It's like a mutual understanding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Friendly
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah. So, obviously the message is here, the top cluster, isn't it? Look at the coping strategies. Observe, and observe more carefully than before. Don't withdraw. Listen, but also even active. Inquire, ask, read. Learn more about cultural theories or whatever. Read short history books, say, about Australia. I will give you in the next few days the list of cultural items, either films or books or songs to throw yourself into. Now, you don't want to do that all the time. Obviously, you need times to withdraw and just recover. But whenever you can, when you have that psychological and physical energy, just keep going back. And it requires effort, sure. But that's the way forwards, isn't it? Now, a key one, and we didn't get time last Monday, but we'll do it this Monday, and we've talked about it already, is connecting with people, isn't it? Through interest groups, through sports, through professions, through jobs. Jobs often provide huge social connection. And if it's not paid work, it could be voluntary. Quite a lot of Australians do that. Australia has a very high rate of volunteering. It's one of the highest in the world. One of the reasons for that is people want that social connection. A lot of people retire and then, okay, what am I going to do? I want to sort of contribute, but I want to keep up social networks. So native Aussies are doing that too, and it's a really good method of making those connections. And we did talk about, and Nicole mentioned as well, that app. Now we've got the internet, of course, it's pretty easy to find interest groups, not just through that, you can just Google things, sport, and then type your suburb, or whatever sport, basketball, type in suburb, you get the nearest basketball club. Libraries are often points of information. Just go and ask a librarian at your local library about anything. Those people, these days, modern libraries see themselves as community information points. They're not just about books or the internet. They're serving the community and information. So anything you're not sure of, you can't find it through your own research, ask them.
Even the church, I think.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Churches, religious groups, whatever, political groups, campaigns. If you're passionate about a social or environmental issue, there'd be a campaign group. We're a city of 1 million people. Most of the time you'll find there's a campaign group. And they're always looking for volunteers, of course. They're always wanting to strengthen their impact.
Quite to be honest, when I first arrived to Australia, I learned my English speaking from Meals on Wheels. I'm working there.
Oh, yeah.
And then all those aged people, when you deliver
Yeah.
food there, they just grab and just talk and talk and
Yeah,
talk.
that's
Just
a really good one.
loading of a language in your head.
Yeah, that's a particularly good one.
Wait,
Meals on Wheels, very good.
Meals on Wheels.
Yes. I was working there before.
So delivering food, isn't it?
Yes,
To prepare
yes,
food
yes.
to usually elderly, pensioners.
Mm.
And that's
And
really
a
good.
lot is native Australian.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not they really lonely.
Yeah,
stay at
they
home.
often want to talk and talk.
Just talk, they
You
want
get
to
really
talk.
good conversation practice.
Yeah.
And of course, people like that, you can sit down with them and slang, yarn, which means talk. Yarn is like wool, long piece of wool. So you yarn, you have a long piece of string. They'll sit and yarn with you for ages, you know, and you learn a lot of history and
Do you know,
local culture.
the first time I learned is that one of the couple, she received when she was 100 years old, received from Queen the letters.
Yeah.
And then when I first came, I did not realize that. And every time when I deliver, she keep on repeat telling me this
Right.
story. And then I know the history like that easily. Kim was saying, "Oh, my letter, have you read that?" And she was reading, and I learned my full of English and
Especially in
history there.
HK, you can
Mm.
talk
Yeah.
a lot, and
Yeah.
some of them, like retired English teachers, they have
Yeah.
like to help you.
Yeah.
It
All right.
helps
Oh, that's
seriously.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because in my HK
Yeah.
facility, we used to have a teacher. She's a retired English teacher.
Right.
She got her grandkids for reading every,
Yeah.
I think every Sunday. So she called me and
Uh-huh.
okay, come on and join with us. She read the book, so I just, if I
Oh,
hungry, I just sit
Oh,
there.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free English lessons.
Yeah, they're really
Like a
good.
pillow and blanket.
And
Yeah,
if I
look-
make mistake, they correct me.
Some voluntary work is more language rich than others, and I'd say that's one of the best.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get that, face-to-face
Conversation.
speaking,
Oh, non-stop.
and like you said, like native Aussies, often working-class country people with, you know, strongish accents. You'll get a whole variety of accent there, a lot of slang, that kind of conversation. So if that's
Yeah,
your sort of target,
Yeah, that's
that'd
one
be
of the
good.
best ways of improving English through communication. Like, for me, like, when I came here, my English was broken, and yeah, but the way that it got improved is through communication. Like, it doesn't matter. Especially communicating with native speakers would help a lot. So
Yeah.
that's how my accent changed. Then, yeah, for me, I used to have, I think, I'm not sure if I still do, but I used to have a bit of an American accent, not like a fluent, but like
Right. No, I haven't noticed it at all.
but that has changed through speaking. So
Yeah.
by communicating a lot or doing some volunteering work, that will change throughout the years. It will take a couple of years, but it depends on how much you do. If you practice a lot or you communicate a lot, that will work
The
a lot.
most important part, Meals on Wheels, is that those clients, they don't criticize you. They brought your confidence up.
Yeah.
If I join the community, they sometimes, oh, what do you say? Huh? And you should raise it like that, and not like this. Keep on correct you. But they are very friendly. They let you go, and then they repeat it to you, and conversation to you. I think they more like already just want somebody to talk to. They scared to criticize you, and you back off that way.
Yeah.
That's how I like it. More confidence to talk to them.
Yeah. And look at generalisation. Maybe it's over-generalisation. Problem number 13. But older people have learned throughout their lives how to be more,
Patient.
encourage social interaction and positive,
Yeah.
So a lot of older people kind of, polite and encouraging.
And you'd be surprised a lot
in any
of,
culture.
they're very high skilled person, a lot of them. Very high academics too.
Right,
You can see their book, their reading, everything.
sure.
Very high class.
Yeah, well, that's a good one, Lynn. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, we've got our graph here. Now, here's the question. To hand over to you for 5 or 10 minutes. Where would you put yourself now on that chart? Are you in the Valley of Death? Are you still having your honeymoon in the Intercontinental Hotel? Have you climbed out the other side, or are you on the mountain side? Are you on your way up? Are you wearing a parachute and you're falling? So, where would you put yourself? That's assuming that framework is like that. You may not. What I'm going to ask you to do is in a few minutes is come up and mark your point. But if you think that hasn't been your pathway, then I'll write this word. Trajectory. Jet means to throw. Think of reject something. Yeah? You reject it, you throw it. Trajectory is the path of like a bullet or a missile or a stone. So there's a trajectory there. If you think that hasn't been your trajectory, and you think, well, I didn't have a honeymoon period, and I was just flat all the way, you know, or I went down and then up very quickly, or you can come up and draw another shape if you want, you know. I'm not saying everybody's average at all, but that is the average. Probably most people will fall somewhere on that. Come and mark your point, and the other thing I want you to do is mark your